All right, today we're going to dive into a simple story with a really powerful message. It's called Little Pann and His Growing Bean. Now, it might sound like a kid's tale, but trust me, it unpacks some of life's biggest lessons about responsibility, care, and what we should actually value. Let's get right into it. So, that's the big question, right? How on earth can one tiny little seed teach something so huge? And that question is really the heart of this entire explainer. As you're about to see, this is about so much more than just gardening. It's about how we define worth and effort in our own lives. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in this small, loving home, kind of tucked away in a village near some rice fields. And this is where we meet the family at the center of everything. So meet the Pann family. You've got Papa Phum, who works all sorts of small jobs to make ends meet. There's Mama Lynn, who makes snacks to sell. And of course, there's our hero, Little Pann, who's just a kind, hardworking kid. Their home might be old and tiny, but you get the sense that it is just overflowing with love and warmth. And here's the moment that changes everything. Pann's teacher gives him what seems like a pretty simple gift, just one single bean seed. But, as it turns out, this tiny seed comes with a very specific and very important challenge. I just love how the teacher frames this. She's not just saying, hey, go grow a plant for a science project. Nope. Right from the get-go, she makes it crystal clear this is a test of character. It's a direct lesson in what it means to be responsible. And when Pann gets home, his dad, Papa Phum, he just hits the nail on the head. He immediately backs up the teacher's lesson with this piece of wisdom that really becomes the theme for the whole story. Value has nothing to do with a price tag. It's all about how much you care. So, Pann's got the seed, and he's got this incredible advice from his dad. But that's just the starting line. The real story, the real lesson, is in what he does next, day after day after day. And this slide, man, it just perfectly captures this secret sauce here. It wasn't some magic formula. It was this simple, consistent routine. It's kind of like the compound effect in action, Just these small, daily efforts building up into something huge. He had to deal with the heat, the pouring rain, his own tiredness, and he just kept at it every single day. This is what's going on in his head, right? This is his motivation. He's not just doing it because the teacher told him to. He genuinely gets it, that this little bean depends on him. He's taken complete ownership of this challenge.
And this is such a crucial detail about his parents' role in all this. They were his cheerleaders, for sure, but they never once stepped in to do the work for him. They knew that if they did, the whole lesson would be lost. This was Pann's task, his responsibility, and his lesson to learn.
So all that hard work, day in and day out, what does it all lead to? Well, the result is so much more than just a healthy plant. It becomes a powerful lesson for his entire class. And yep, of course, all that hard work totally pays off. The seed doesn't just sprout. It grows into this gorgeous, vibrant, healthy plant. What you're looking at is the physical proof of his dedication. It's a living testament to that daily commitment. Okay, this slide is just brilliant because it lays it all out side by side. It perfectly shows you the two different mindsets going on here. The other kids thought success would come from stuff, fancy pots, special tools. But Pann's method, it was all internal. It was about daily care, attention, and that key word again, responsibility. And boom, here it is, the big moment. The teacher announces the winner, and she's so smart about it. She doesn't just say, Pann's plant is the biggest. She explains why it's the healthiest, putting the spotlight on his character, not on any material things. Right there, in front of everyone, she drives home the most important lesson of the whole story. This is where the story really starts to open up. The lesson zooms out from this one little bean plant and connects to the much, much bigger picture of a life well lived. And Papa Phum, he just connects all the dots perfectly. He shows Panna that this small act of responsibility is basically training for the bigger things in life. Taking care of a plant, that's practice for taking care of your family and your community. And Mama Lynn comes in with this just beautiful piece of wisdom to wrap it all up. The real treasures in life, she explains, they aren't things you can buy. They're the qualities you build inside yourself, things like hard work and kindness. So if you were to boil this whole story down to one single idea, this is it. Responsibility isn't some big, flashy gesture you make one time. It's the quiet, consistent, daily commitment to care for something. And it's the ultimate proof that real, lasting value is something you build, not something you can ever buy. And so the story of Little Pan leaves all of us with a really powerful question to think about in our own lives. What's the small bean you're responsible for right now? Maybe it's a project, a relationship, or a personal goal that's just waiting for your consistent daily care. What's your bean?